The water needed in our life-supporting environment exists in abundance, but to the plants and animals requiring fresh water, its availability is often very limited. The availability of a fresh water supply affects our environment, the development of our societies, and the routine of our daily lives. Fresh water becomes available as rain and snow, and the opportunity to use it lasts only until it again evaporates or flows to the sea. The daily and seasonal cycles of temperature change create changing evaporation, precipitation, and air currents. These physical changes cause the weather patterns called the hydrologic cycle. Amounts of water moving in this cycle vary widely by area, by time of year, and from one year to the next. Annual rainfall for any area can easily vary from as little as half to as much as double the historic average for that area. A reliable water supply is essential to the development of any society. The average annual precipitation in the United States is 30 inches, and if the timing is right, this is adequate for a farmer to grow a crop. Less than half this amount falls in Colorado. Most of the precipitation falling in Colorado is in the form of winter snow and is thus held in storage until warming spring temperatures cause melting snows to flood the high mountain rivers and streams for 2 to 3 months. By early summer, these rivers and streams return to low or no flow for the remainder of the year. Human intervention in this hydrologic cycle can neither create nor destroy water, but diversion and storage can extend the availability to provide for year-round needs. The high peaks of the Rocky Mountains form the Continental Divide, thus dividing the waters flowing either east to the Gulf of Mexico or west to the Gulf of California. The unpredictable and comparatively low amounts of precipitation in Colorado provide all of the water used in the state, as well as almost 10.5 million acre-feet that flows out of Colorado each year to serve downstream states. Water needs have provided Colorado with a history of water management. In the Mesa Verde area of what is now southwestern Colorado, traces still exist of water diversion and storage facilities that were built over 900 years ago. This extensive society of cliff-dwelling people inhabited the area for several hundred years. They built and maintained communal water storage systems and produced crops by irrigation. Carbon dating and tree ring studies have suggested an extended period of drought as their reason for leaving the area. For the next 500 years, the short growing seasons and sporadic water supplies stirred little interest in permanent homes or growing crops. Then, gradually, beginning with the Louisiana Purchase in 1803, the area we now know as eastern Colorado became a part of the United States. Various U.S. military expeditions searched this area for navigable rivers but found only small seasonal tributaries. Major Stephen Long mapped this area as the Great American Desert. Slowly, trappers and traders from the eastern states began to inhabit the area and develop water uses. A treaty with Mexico in 1848 transferred much of the area west of the Continental Divide to the United States and was followed by the formation of Colorado Territory in 1861. Colorado's first permanent settlement had been established in 1851 in southern Colorado by people coming from areas to the south. These early settlers found it necessary to divert stream water to grow crops. At about this same time, miners were returning to Colorado from the California gold rush. They found it much more productive to replace the tedious process of panning for gold with various methods of hydraulic mining. The Homestead Act of 1862 and post-Civil War economy moved thousands of people west. Developers envisioned ways to transform the semi-arid land into productive farm ground. Colonies were formed to pool resources and finance larger irrigation projects. Vast herds of $5 Texas cattle had come to Colorado in search of the $40 market brought on by the rapidly growing population and advancing railroad systems. During the decades of the 1870s and 80s, free livestock range had encouraged overstocking, and homesteading soon privatized land ownership where water was available. The need for water attracted people to the areas where it was most readily available. Precipitation was unpredictable, and any reliable supply of water required diversion and storage from the flowing streams. With increased population came competition for the choice properties. This competition often developed into conflicts, which intensified as seasonal stream flows decreased. Questions of ownership caused courts to be established to resolve property rights issues. The right to use water was determined to be that of the first person putting the water to beneficial use. This first-in-time, first-in-right system became the doctrine of prior appropriation. The territory of Colorado became a state in 1876. The new Constitution included 3 articles on water. The first declared all unappropriated water to be the property of the public, dedicated to the use of the people of the state. The second stated the right to divert the unappropriated water of any stream to beneficial use shall never be denied. The third provided a legal basis by which water could be transported across neighboring properties. Water shaped Colorado's development. The early settlers created an illusion of bounty in much of the environment that we see today. Construction of dams and distribution systems has greatly improved the regularity of stream flow and extended both the times and areas of water availability. Tunnels, channels, and pumps move more than half the water used on the Front Range from the western side of the Continental Divide. Much of this illusion would disappear if the water storage and diversion structures were removed from our landscape. The farming community and many of our cities could not exist without the water supply systems created by these pioneers. Without the extensive use and reuse of these diverted flows, much of the state would continue to look like the Great American Desert. Water affects the daily life of every person, yet many today are unaware of the intense legal and physical struggles required to move it to our homes, cities, lakes, and farms. The need for responsible administration of water among the various users and uses was as unrelenting as the need for water itself. In 1879, the state legislature created the Superintendent of Irrigation, or Water Commissioner, to oversee the use of the state's water. In 1881, the position of State Hydraulic Engineer, or State Engineer, was created to correlate and support commissioners and provide stream flow data. The developing doctrine of prior appropriation was implemented by the courts granting of water rights by decree. A decreed water right thus became a personal property right and allowed water to be moved longer distances to serve more uses. Water storage at the uppermost part of a drainage basin is desirable for 3 reasons. 1. Less loss to surface evaporation. 2. Less storage loss to sediment from upstream erosion. And 3. More downstream areas in which the stored water can be used. Increasing water use prompted Colorado and 9 downstream states to develop interstate agreements, or compacts, to define the entitlement of each state to the river flows. State-employed hydrographers now operate and maintain over 300 stream gauging stations. Much of the resulting data is immediately available through satellite transmissions and is used for administration of diversions from these streams, as well as flows to downstream entitlements. There are tens of thousands of diversions scattered throughout the state, and each, to assure fair, equitable administration, requires a record of use with biennial publication. The state's 103,000 square miles are divided into 7 divisions and 78 water districts. The water commissioner in each district must be aware of water supply and demand each day to be able to curtail the most junior decrees if and when demands exceed supply. In 1899, the duties of the state engineer grew to include reservoir dam safety. Dam safety engineers now manage a routine dam safety inspection program. There are over 2,000 dams of jurisdictional size, and many non-jurisdictional dams are associated with a court-decreed water right. By 1965, growing demands for groundwater required the state engineer to implement a well permitting program. These uses of groundwater are specifically limited, not only by the permit, but also by court decrees and state statutes. Today, about 250 technicians, engineers, geologists, and administrators staff the state's Division of Water Resources. Directed by state laws, court decrees, and federal compacts, their purpose is to serve the public, encourage beneficial use, and preserve present and future supply and availability of the state's water. Some diverted water recycles through the atmosphere by evaporation or transpiration. but most returns directly to the stream system to be used again by either surface or groundwater users. It has been said that water diverted in Colorado is used an average of 4 times before leaving the state. Colorado is truly unique. Water flows through most states. In Colorado, precipitation is the only source, yet the amount of precipitation falling in Colorado is only 1/2 the U.S. national average. Even with these limits to supply, Colorado delivers 10.5 million acre-feet to downstream states, where by compact only 8 million acre-feet is obligated. Therefore, Colorado remains with sizable compact entitlements undeveloped.